You used to feel something when you thought about your goals. Excitement, curiosity, fire. Now, it's just white noise. You still make lists. You still say the right things, but deep down it all feels flat. You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're just disconnected from the emotion that once pulled you forward. Before we begin, a quick disclaimer. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. It does not constitute medical, psychological, or professional advice. Always consult a licensed expert before making changes to your mental or emotional routines. Let's redefine the problem. Motivation isn't about hustle. It's not about discipline hacks or waking up at 5 a.m. It's emotional electricity. It's the internal current that fuels your decisions, before logic even enters the picture. When people say they lost motivation, what they've actually lost is emotional connection to their goal, to their why, to their sense of aliveness. Think of your drive like a lamp. The bulb equals your ideas. The switch equals your willpower. But the electricity, that's emotion. You can have the best strategy in the world, but if you're unplugged emotionally, nothing lights up. What is the real reason you feel numb? Let's be honest. You've set goals and abandoned them. You've made progress and still felt empty. You've even succeeded and felt nothing. Why? Because your nervous system stopped associating that goal with meaning. You kept doing, but you stopped feeling. And when that disconnection sets in, your brain stops sending energy to the task. Because why bother? Why sprint towards something that no longer feels like you? How does the disconnection happen? This is the invisible decay process. You repeat the same tasks daily. Your brain adapts. The novelty fades. Dopamine decreases, so the emotion fades. You stop feeling like the future version of yourself is even real. Eventually your actions become cold routines, not living choices. And now you're not procrastinating, you're dissociating. That's why you scroll. That's why you delay. That's why the fire is gone. Because the cord has been cut, and no one ever taught you how to plug back in. You sit down to work on it. You open the file, the dashboard, the idea, and your body feels heavy. Your chest tightens. You try to push through, but your brain whispers, "This isn't it anymore." And we both know it. That's not laziness. That's a signal. It's your mind telling you, "I don't believe in this like I used to." But here's the secret. You can restore that connection. Here's the truth. Most people don't quit their goals because they're tired. They quit because they no longer feel emotionally rewarded. In the beginning, everything felt alive. You could see the vision. You could feel the identity shift. You were emotionally invested, even if you didn't have all the answers. But somewhere along the way, that charge faded, and no one tells you what to do when your goal stops feeling like it's yours. You can't think your way out of emotional detachment. You can know your goal is good, and still feel nothing toward it. That's what makes intelligent people suffer the most. They try to fix an emotional block with logic. This is important. This will help my future. Other people would love to be in my position. But your brain doesn't respond to should. It responds to felt alignment. Let's do this right now. Think of a goal you've been dragging lately. Something you used to feel excited about, but now, avoid. Now ask, when was the last time this goal gave me energy? What changed? Did it become an obligation instead of a choice? Did I stop seeing it as a reflection of who I want to become? Often the moment of disconnect is quiet, a comment someone made that made you doubt it, a day you forced yourself to grind through it without joy, a deadline you missed that made you feel behind. Your nervous system took a hit and never fully came back online. Here's a phrase that will change how you see yourself. You're not unmotivated. You're emotionally misaligned. You're trying to force motion without meaning. Trying to drag yourself towards something you no longer feel. That's like trying to steer a car with no gas. You'll move an inch and stall. Let's redefine motivation. Real motivation equals an emotional feedback loop where you act. You feel something rewarding. That feeling reinforces your identity. So you want to act again. When that loop is broken, You can still act, but it feels robotic. And eventually, you stop. Here's something simple. Try this. Sit in silence for 90 seconds. Ask, what do I actually want to feel while working on this? Visualize the moment when you last felt emotionally aligned. Breathe into that version of you, then reopen the project. But carry that version with you. Don't push the task. Reintroduce the feeling. That's how we begin to restore the signal. Motivation starts with identity, not effort. Here's the mistake most people make. They try to change their actions without reconnecting to who they're becoming. You can journal, you can set goals, you can build the perfect schedule. But if those actions aren't tied to your emotional identity, they'll always feel like effort. So let's flip the script. We don't start with to-do lists. We start with who you want to feel like while doing them. Here's how to do it. Instead of asking, what should I work on today? Ask, what kind of person do I want to feel like while I work? That one question resets everything. Because suddenly, a dull task becomes a chance to embody clarity. A cold goal becomes an act of alignment. Your actions stop being chores and start becoming rituals. Try this each morning. It takes 3 minutes. Visualize the version of you who already lives the outcome, not in detail. Just a feeling, an image, a posture. Ask what would they do first today. Check your battery. Green means you feel emotionally connected. Yellow means you feel flat, but willing. Red means you feel nothing and want to escape. If yellow or red, pause everything for 5 minutes. Use breath, movement, or silence to realign. Re-ask, what would connect me emotionally to this? This builds a habit of feeling before forcing, and it reprograms your nervous system to trust your internal signal again. Let's make it even simpler with this mini framework. A. Align. Return to the version of you who actually wants this. C. Create. Do one thing, however small, that moves it forward. T. Track the feeling. After acting, pause and reflect. How did that feel? The point isn't perfection. It's to restore the loop between action and meaning. You're not just doing things anymore. You're doing them from a place that feels true. Close your eyes and imagine 2 versions of yourself. One who keeps grinding disconnected, and one who rebuilds emotional energy and moves forward in flow. The same task, the same tools, but a completely different frequency. Which one are you feeding today? Your motivation didn't disappear, it didn't burn out, it didn't get lost, it's still there, like a light on a dimmer switch turned down so low you forgot it ever lit the room. And the more you try to fix it with force, the more the signal slips away. The goal now is not to flip a switch, but to slowly raise the brightness again, moment by moment, choice by choice, feeling by feeling. Why emotional reconnection changes everything. Most people try to discipline themselves into action, but discipline without emotion becomes duty. And duty with no meaning eventually turns to resentment. You don't need more hacks. You need emotional clarity. What matters? Why now? Who is this for? When those questions have answers, even soft ones, your body moves again, and your mind follows. Before today ends, try this. Grab a notebook, write down one thing you used to care deeply about when you stopped feeling that connection, why it might still matter, in a new way, and one small action to reconnect with that feeling this week. No pressure, no judgment, just a signal boost. The point isn't to force the fire back. It's to fan the quiet ember you forgot was still glowing. You're not unmotivated. You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're just unplugged from the emotional charge that made things matter. But now, you know where the cord is, and you know how to connect again. Start small, start quiet, but start from a place that feels like you. That's where real momentum comes from. Like the video. Share this with someone who's felt off for too long. Subscribe for weekly videos that bring clarity, connection, and creative energy back to your life. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. It does not constitute medical, psychological, or professional advice. Always consult a qualified expert before making changes to your mental, emotional, or behavioral routines. All insights are based on personal interpretation and publicly available research at the time of production.